Hey everyone, I'm Rafi Salem, back with MX Data. Today we have Megan Grove from MX Data and Joe Pino from Clutch. Thank you both for coming today. We are proud to welcome Clutch into our Digital Fireside Chat. So before we get to Joe, Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and MX Data, please?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining again. Thank you, Rafi, for hosting. And just so everybody knows, MX Data is super excited to announce our partnership with Clutch. And thank you, Joe, for joining us on our Digital Fireside Chat today. So MX Data is a retail solutions provider for retail technology. And like I said, we're always excited to announce new solutions that will allow retailers to keep increasing their business, increasing revenue, and customer engagement. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is the challenges that the retail industry faces with marketing, because there's just so many different platforms and solutions out there, and sometimes it's confusing to understand how to bring everything together. And so Joe is here to kind of talk to us about that and to help us learn. So Joe, do you want to introduce yourself and then we can kind of jump in?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me as well. I'm glad to be here. So Joe Pino, SVP of Strategy and Partnerships at Clutch. At Clutch, we are a technology platform first and foremost, right? Really focused on helping B2C marketers with bringing together a number of different solutions across their CDP and customer data management needs, loyalty management, marketing orchestration, stored value, and offer management. So again, bringing all that together to deliver a real omni-channel experience to their end consumers. So really excited to talk about how this can help on modern day challenges that marketers faces, and again, enhancing the customer experience across retail, both physical and digital footprint.
Excellent. So thank you, Joe, and thank you, Megan. So I don't know where you guys were on Sunday evening, but I was at home watching the big game. You know, in advertising, you're not allowed to call it the Super Bowl unless you've paid millions of dollars. You can only call it the big game. So just to tie everything in, I thought the commercials this year were terrible, not on point. No one got anything. I didn't want to buy any beer or cars this year as a result. I might have wanted to go to Dunkin' Donuts. But my question to you both before we kick it off is, what did you think about the Super Bowl marketing? And then we'll go into it and how it ties into the retail industry. Megan, why don't you start us off?
Well, I thought like the marketing in general was pretty standard to what it is. There wasn't anything that like jumped out at me that was different really, or anything new and exciting. I will say though, for retailers, if you're in the sports industry and you have sports apparel or gear, or paraphernalia, whatever it is, your sales are skyrocketing. So, I mean, it was a success all around is what we saw.
Joe, your thoughts about the big game?
Sure. So from a marketing perspective, I always wonder, again, nothing really stood out, nothing new to me that I saw. From the analyst in me and the technology side, I always go back to ROI, right? What's being measured, how's it tracked, which consumers are driving different behaviors. So again, it was interesting to watch for a period of time, but nothing stood out. And again, I always go back to attribution, just naturally from an analytical perspective.
Great. So we have a guest caller in from Amaro Bustamante from MX Data. Amaro, please.
Yeah. Hey, folks. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in there. Insofar as marketing, one marketing tactic, one guerrilla marketing tactic that I noticed, and I think actually was really effective from what I understand, was Rihanna during the Super Bowl halftime. As people may know, she's a billionaire, and she's not a billionaire just off of the strength of her music catalog, but the other companies that she has, which, by the way, are retail companies, right? So she has two retail businesses. One of them is Fenty. Anyway, the two businesses, one of them is selling like lingerie and apparel, and the other one is cosmetics. And during the halftime show, she actually, all of the dancers were wearing her lingerie. And at one point, if you noticed, she's walking down the runway and somebody hands her like a compact or lipstick or something like that. and she uses it to like powder her face or touch herself up mid-performance. That
Yeah,
was
I
her
did see
line.
that.
What I found out afterwards, or what I read somewhere, is that both of those businesses skyrocketed after the Super Bowl. So that was actually, I think, really great marketing tactic on her side, using that guerrilla tactic. Marketing is, using her performance as a way to also showcase her two other brands.
That all being said, let's jump into it. So first topic, challenges faced by marketing retail. So Megan, why don't you expand on that? And then Joe, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so typically what we see is that retailers are implementing or using multiple different systems for things. They may have their RMS solution, which is their retail management, a CRM system, which is their customer retail management, and then other like accounting platforms too. So what we're seeing though is retailers are having a hard time finding the specific data that they need to be able to market to specific or target groups of people. So that's kind of where Joe comes in, and all of his expertise is trying to help retailers understand exactly how to kind of close the loop on all those different systems, all the different data gateways, and how to find the raw data that you need to build your marketing strategies for your customers. And that's what, customer loyalty is so important right now. And that's kind of where Clutch comes in.
Yeah, that's a great point. What marketers face is the idea, first and foremost, is just being able to centralize the information that they do have. So omnichannel is an ongoing initiative where e-com and retail or physical stores, data could just be centralized. So start there with simple use cases like gift card, right, where you could have a platform that sits between the two different channels, opposed to having gift cards in each channel. Again, very simple example. But then to expand that even further into marketing, outside of centralizing the channels, really gets into centralizing customer data. In the retail space particularly, a customer can walk in, buy a shirt, and leave without having to identify themselves. So you need to give them a hook, right? So online, there's no such thing as an anonymous customers. Even your guest checkout, you know who it is, you know where you're sending the product. In store, however, identifying customers becomes an operational challenge and or just a consumer value proposition challenge, because the customer will identify themselves if you give them a reason to, whether it's e-receipt or loyalty initiatives. And really those are the types of initiatives we focus on at Clutch, in terms of being able to enable marketers with those types of tools. So connect the channels, and then of course give that customer and streamline the operations on wanting to identify, so you start to better understand who your customers are, and then of course how to activate that data, which we can get into as well.
So let's talk about the various platforms available in the market, Joe. Obviously it's 2023, which is incredible, just period. How many platforms? Are there too many to speak about, or can you just generalize, what about the platforms?
Well, there's a lot of technology options out there, right? When we talk to different marketers, they're looking at, in some cases, marketers aren't even considering gift cards because that's a different department. But from a marketing and really just a customer tool set, you have gift card providers, you have email tools, you have SMS tools, you have loyalty providers, you have CDPs, right? Where brands these days have 2.5 CDPs. So you have technology options out there. It's just whether or not which one should you have, and is it a conversation of one or multiple? So it becomes very siloed very quickly, all in the name of making it a better customer experience. What sometimes gets lost in that is what's the marketer's experience, or the operator, right? The operator of all these tools. Do you have having to specialize in multiple tools and they're siloed? Or, a big push that we're seeing in the market is consolidation. How do you make it easier to connect these systems? And really what we've seen is a combination of either best in breed, and you're a big enough organization where you kind of put together this 5-vendor, 5-technology headed monster, so to speak, and somebody's connecting these systems, or you're finding an all-in-one system where things are consolidated with modular options. We put ourselves in that bucket. When brands come to us, for instance, they're not always looking for an all-in-one solution on day one, but the idea is that it evolves over time. And again, having a platform that can grow with you and grow with your strategies is really where we've seen the market, as well as, of course, the difference between a self-service platform versus one that you have to outsource to a vendor partner.
Megan, within your experience within MX Data, how does a retailer even begin to choose the various platforms that they're going to be using?
Well, that's kind of why we have like our digital fireside chats and all of our webinars, just to kind of educate our customers on what are the options out there, what are the solutions you have, and how it could work for you. I mean, all of our retailers have different needs and requirements. And so, at MX Data, we really try to make sure we have those discovery calls and, give up as much knowledge as we can about the different technologies out there so that we can then make the right recommendation for a retailer. It does kind of come down to like the line of business that they're into. Some people may benefit more from the gift card stuff, the omni-channel, closing the loop between gift cards on e-commerce and gift cards relating in brick and mortar. Whereas there may be different industries where the SMS marketing is more, geared towards their customer base. So it kind of just depends, but that is why we do these chats and we do our webinars, just to educate our people on what's out there.
Great. So Joe, we'd love to hear more about Clutch and how, a little more details about how you're helping retailers out there. Go ahead.
Sure. So from a technology standpoint, again, we could bring together the data across channels. We enable different modules, as I mentioned before. So regardless of where a marketer wants to start, we ultimately try to allow them to pick where they could start, with the idea of eventually bringing it all together, right? In an ideal scenario, you could start with gift cards, have a customer able to buy and redeem a gift card in store or online, but how do you turn that gift card into an actual identified customer, and then eventually start to drive that into a personalization, potentially a future loyalty story? But we start with the idea of bringing a technology to the market that allows for marketers to be as creative as they want, but we also partner with a number of great strategists that can also help bring that solution to market as well, right? Because again, aside from the technology itself, we really do want to see the market start to evolve. And interestingly enough, you could give some marketers the technology and they'll keep doing what they've always done. So I think a lot of this, even these conversations talk about what is the thought leadership that industry experts can bring to the market that help the experience evolve a bit. And again, I think we go from how can stored value be more than just a gift card, right? The traditional use cases, turn that into marketing tool. Some of our clients like Honest Company are doing a great job doing that, enabling sort of that digital wallet, even just on their e-commerce store. And then of course, evolving beyond as brands get more creative in terms of the SMS and text messaging. And again, going well beyond purchases. Our platform enables all of that. So you can track the behavior of your customer, but more importantly, activate with timely segments, timely rules, as well as, of course, where we're really headed around machine learning and getting even more intelligent with what's the next best outcome with all real-time reporting. So you could always, at any given moment, understand the value any of these initiatives are driving back to your business.
I'd love to hear a little more detail, perhaps a case study of someone or a specific, maybe can't name the specific company, but why don't you jump into like a case study of how your company has helped?
Sure. We have a number of different case studies that range from gift card initiatives. So one of the things that we've seen a number of our brands do is start to evolve just their use of gift cards beyond the traditional use case of buying and selling it for a friend, right? I'd buy a gift card for a friend or family member and they could redeem it. That's the traditional use case. But what we're also seeing marketers do is turn around and use that for merchandise credit. And more importantly, to keep their costs down on returns, instead of putting funds back onto the original payment method, actually keeping that revenue in-house, put it onto a merchandise credit card, and in some cases incentivizing, right? Hey, we'll give you an extra 5%, put that on merchandise credit, because they know the redemption of that merchandise credit will in turn actually drive additional sales, because we all get a few dollars in our pocket with a gift card or merchandise credit, and we tend to spend more when we do redeem it. So that is a very straightforward use case that we've seen a number of our brands pick up and run with. On the gift card side, on the loyalty side, we start to see brands go beyond just the points program, right? When people think loyalty, they think they have to run a points program. That is not the case, right? Loyalty to us is about driving customer retention and driving the feeling of loyalty, not just the behavior of loyalty. And what brands have done there with the level of detail we have is actually start to create more targeted, personalized communications. One of our grocery clients, for instance, have used that sort of intelligence for targeted recalls. And again, not a great topic to talk about, but having that capability of being able to recall and target customers who have bought specific products. So it goes well beyond just points and double points and rewards, but how to use that to drive that personalization and make every touch point with your customer relevant.
Megan, just to wrap things up in terms of the partnership between MX Data and Clutch, what do you foresee and how do you foresee working together in the future?
Well, of course, the different ways that Joe was just talking about and what Clutch is really good at, which is basically, the gift card solution and then loyalty and then customer retention. We plan to address all of those solutions and ideas when we do our webinar, which we can actually now show retailers what we're kind of talking about. We can go through what the solution actually looks like and what it does. But that's typically the three main points that we're starting to talk about with our customers and why we're so excited to have Joe and his team and Clutch be a part of MX Data's solution product catalog. So
great. So just in closing, Joe and Megan, any conferences, events, or things on the calendar that we and the audience should be aware of?
yeah, Joe's had a big one. Joe, talk about where you're going to be.
Yeah, in March 26th, 29th, we'll be in Shop Talk. So Shop Talk will be in Las Vegas this year. So we'll be excited to be presenting there as well. So again, looking forward to meeting and talking to a number of retail brands.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then we'll release dates for Joe's webinar within the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. And any other closing remarks, or just thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you, Joe. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. We're very excited to work with you guys. And I know our retailers are going to be very excited to hear about the solution and of course, just make it work. So, and Rafi, thank you for hosting. We really appreciate it.
And if we want to visit your website and contact you, what is your website?
Sure, you can visit us. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Megan.
No, you go ahead, Joe. I wasn't sure who that question was directed to.
It's for everybody, all at once.
No, you go first. You go first. You're the guest.
Absolutely. So clutch.com, you can visit us there, learn more about our platform, our modules, request a demo, and certainly excited to tell you how easy it is to also implement some of our solutions with Shopify Plus and a number of other platforms as well.
Great. And of course, Megan, mxdata.com is the central place where anyone can learn about our company offerings and services. So
absolutely.
Thank you once again, Megan Grove, Joe Pino. I'm Rafi Salem with MX Data with this Digital Fireside Chat. Thank you everyone for watching, and everybody say cheese before we end the recording, and cheese.